Hi, I'm Shannon Haddock, and I'm a fiction specialist at the Hoover Public Library. Today's book is one that we had at Fiction Book Group today, and we discussed it for well over an hour. It is The Mountains Sing, as you can see, by Nguy. Now, she is a Vietnamese woman born in the North Vietnam area, a small village in North Vietnam, and moved to South Vietnam. And her family were rice farmers and street vendors. She secretly entered a writing contest at a young age and won, going on to higher education and thus furthering herself. She spent so much of her time growing up listening to the elders' stories about the history of Vietnam, the Great Land Reform, the Great Hunger, the Vietnam War, all of that she heard about. And she continued to do research for. She worked with the UN. She's a poet. This is her first foray into writing in English, a story based in Vietnam. It is about one girl, Hoang, I think is pronounced her name, and her grandmother. And through the book, it changes narratives between the granddaughter and the grandmother. The grandmother is trying to share the family history, the Tran family, and that includes her birth, the grandmother's birth in 1920. Her family in the story were landowners, so they were persecuted under the Land Reform Act. And then the Great Hunger killed off some of their family. The grandmother had 6 children, so there were a lot of different perspectives brought into the story, whether they during war joined the North Vietnamese army or the South Vietnamese army, or escaped altogether. The granddaughter's mother was a doctor and went off to work in the medical field in the war and was tortured beyond recognition. She comes home and she cannot share her story with her daughter. Throughout the book, you fall for these women's stories and the proverbs brought from Vietnam. They are so just profound. The idea of patience, they say, soft and persistent rain penetrates the earth better than a storm. All through the books, there are things that you want to stop and take note of throughout it. It's just beautiful language. You get the idea of the beauty of Vietnam. And the writing is different in that she left all of the diacritical marks that the Vietnamese language uses because their language depends on it so much. I think that's a holdover from French occupation. Anyway, the book is fantastic, and it is a Hoopla digital book club pick. In Hoopla, you should be able to get to their discussion guide, which gives you music of Vietnam, recipes of Vietnam, an essay by the author, a family tree of the family. It's just outstanding read. You can check it out on Hoopla in audio or ebook, and it's also on Overdrive Libby. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks.